Market segmentation, targeting, positioning, differentiation, the 4 P's of marketing, all of these are concepts of the marketing mix. Let's go and find out about each one of them. Hello marketeers, and to all of you willing to learn about marketing. In this video we talk about the marketing strategy, the marketing mix, and about the customer value driven marketing strategy. Just 1 second before starting the video, remember that you don't need to take notes of anything that I will explain in this video. In the links in the description there is a file you can download for free with all the definitions of all the marketing terms I will use in this video. It works just like a dictionary that I created for you. You can download it for free in the links in the description. Alright, so let's see what the marketing strategy is. It is the marketing logic by which the company hopes to create customer value and achieve profitable customer relationships. When we talk about a company, we must consider that every company has a strategic plan. It is about their mission statement and the objectives of the company. The goal of the marketing department is to create value in order to solve a problem of a consumer or to identify and solve a need that the customer has in order to become their customer and capture value back from them in return. So basically, the company will identify the consumer need. Me, you, everybody is a consumer. Everybody who buys products is a consumer. The companies will identify what need we have or what problem we have. They will come up with a product or with a service, and for that we will pay our money and the company will be profitable. This is how marketing works, and by that they build profitable customer relationships. So first of all, the company needs to decide which customers they want to serve. And in order to do that, they have to do 2 processes that are called segmentation and targeting. And after that, they will decide how to serve those targets they selected. So this is differentiation and positioning. Going on, the company designs an integrated marketing mix. So the marketing mix is made up of factors under its control, such as product, price, place and promotion, and we call this the 4 P's. Let's see the big picture and have a better understanding of the marketing mix. Nowadays, in today's marketplace, because it is very competitive, the companies must be customer oriented. So this means that the company should think more about the customer and how to serve that customer better than the competitors in order to capture the money back, of course, and how to engage with that customer to deliver the greatest value, right? Remember that marketing is all about serving customers. Either the customer has a problem, either they have a need that the company can solve. It is about delivering the best customer value, and of course better than the competitors do. So we start our journey in marketing at the customer value a company can provide. The next step is for the company to decide which customers they want to serve. Nowadays there is a big variety, there are a lot of customers with a lot of needs, a lot of problems to solve, and one company cannot do it all. And this is why every company must divide up the total market and select the best segments they can serve and design strategies for profitably serving these segments. In order to divide up the market, we do market segmentation, market targeting, differentiation, and positioning. As we said, within a market there are many types of consumers and a company cannot serve it all. Everybody has different needs, different wants, and when a company selects the groups of the customers to serve, this is called that they look at factors such as geographic, demographic, psychographic, and behavioral. This is called market segmentation. Dividing a market into distinct segments of buyers who have different needs, characteristics or behaviors, and who might require separate products or marketing programs. So basically the companies have to separate all the people, all the consumer into smaller groups that are alike. And these groups are called the market segment, which is a group of consumers who respond in a similar way to a given set of marketing efforts. Let's see an example. In the car industry, for example, there are consumers who care about the price more, and there are consumers who care about the comfort more, or the options that they can buy with their money in their car. And obviously a company cannot serve all of them, and this is why they identified these segments. They know segment A cares about the price, segment B cares about the comfort. After the company did the segmentation, they do targeting. So basically they identify all the market targets they can serve within a market, and now they do targeting, which is the process of evaluating each market segment's attractiveness and selecting one or more segments to enter. In this stage, a company selects which segment or segments, it can be more than one, they want to serve. And ideally, a company should target segments in which it can profitably generate the greatest customer value and sustain it over time. Let's look at a practical example. Let's look at the Tesla company. Well, you know they have at least two products. They have a car that sells for over $100,000, and they also have a car that sells for about $50,000. Well, they serve different segments. They have done the segmentation, and they saw that there is a group of people that cares about the price, there is a group of people that cares about the comfort, and we will serve both of them because Tesla thought that it can serve both of them. So both Model S and Model X cost about the same price, about $100,000. So they selected the same group of customers even though they have different needs, because probably people who buy a Model X, they care about having an SUV and might want a regular car. In the same time, people who buy Model 3 and Model S care about having a normal regular car. So they are looking at the same need, they are looking at the same segments of the need, but in different groups of people. And this is actually very smart to do in marketing. So what Tesla did is to serve related segments. Basically the same basic ones, but different kind of customers, making it easier for them to design marketing strategies, of course, and to design a business portfolio and allocate their resources. In the same time, some people might want a mini SUV and some people might want a regular car, but in the same price category. So that's pretty smart marketing. By contrast, Volkswagen has, well, cars ranging from $15,000 to probably over $100,000, and this means that they are serving or they are targeting more segments after they did the segmentation of the car industry. This teaches us that in order to serve more segments, a company needs to have a lot of resources. And we don't talk only about money, about financial investments. They need all kinds of resources, and we will see what kind of resources further in the video. But remember that the more segments you want to serve, the bigger the danger you expose yourself at. After a company decided which segments it wants to enter, what it must do is to determine how to differentiate its market offer for each targeted segment and what position it wants to occupy in those segments. So positioning means arranging for a product to occupy a clear, distinctive and desirable place relative to competing products in the minds of the target customers. So remember this aspect because it's quite important. When we talk about positioning, we don't talk about the position of your company or your product that you want to have within the market, like related to your competitors. When we talk about positioning, it's about the position you want to occupy in the mind of the consumer or your future customer. Basically, you want to modulate or actually to set the perception that the consumers have about your product or about your company. And finally, you want to do differentiation. Basically, you want to differentiate your product or your market offering to create superior customer value. So when we talk about differentiation, you think about your product related to your competitor's product. So we call that in marketing market offering, that is the product or the service you offer, and how is it different compared to your competitors. Basically, you look at your value proposition and you formulate it in such a way that it creates a good perception about the product, and you want to deliver it to the target market you selected. And after that, you know that you have a market strategy, a marketing strategy. Basically, you want to say how your product is better, right? Everybody wants to do that, so the customers buy from you. And this is called the value proposition. You say in this value proposition, it is a statement, we have a video about it, check it on my channel. You may find it in the description below. And with the value proposition, you say it, you transmit it, you formulate it in a special way that fits your target audience, so they are catched with the perception of that value of the product, so they can buy it from you. So far, these are basic steps that every company should have made, basically selecting the customers they want to serve and understanding the need, the problem they want to serve with their product or with their service, in order to collect the money from the customers and make profit. They call that in marketing capturing value from the customers, capturing money from the customers. After a company has done its overall marketing strategy, now it can take a step further and look at the marketing mix. Basically, the marketing mix is a step of the wide marketing strategic planning. In this wide strategic planning, basically a company thinks about how will we survive in the future, how will we still grow in the future, how will we make money in the future, and in order to understand that, they look at the marketing mix. When looking at the marketing mix, they have to look at the 4 P's of marketing, which are the product, the price, the promotion, and the place of the product, and we call them tactical tools that the firm blends to produce the response it wants in the target market. We talk about the product, price, place, and promotion. The product is the goods and services combination the company offers to the target market. The price is the amount of money customers must pay to obtain the product. Place includes company activities that make the product available to the target consumers, and promotion are activities that communicate the merits of the products and persuade target customers to buy it. As we already established in marketing, ideally a company exists only to serve the need or to solve the problem of a consumer. I am a consumer, you are a consumer, and we all have a need or a problem that a company can solve through their product or service. And this is why marketing only looks at customer value. That is called customer value. And how do they sell to you? Well, basically what they do to sell is to set independent objectives for the company. Every company must have objectives and must have goals that are in line with the mission statement of the company. Well, when you combine the product, the price, the place, and the promotion, you do the engagement with the customers. In order to better understand how the 4 P's work and how they engage the customers, let's look at an example. Let's take Ford, the automobile company. Everybody knows Ford, everybody knows that Ford sells cars and they sell different models, right? Well, one more aspect is that the product of Ford is not just the car. So when we talk about the product of the 4 P's of marketing, you would say that special model, whatever model of Ford is the product. Well, that's not completely true. Because when you buy the car, you can also buy and add options on it. You can also extend warranty. These two are also in the product category of the car, right? Because you pay them with your money, so they are also products. So in product, we look at variety, quality, design, features, brand name, packaging, services. All these aspects go in the product. Regarding the price, what Ford does as a company is to set a price they calculated for their retailers, because Ford works with a lot of retailers and they have a lot of dealerships that can also be independently owned. We will talk about it in a second, but ideally Ford set a price and they sell to the retailers, hey, you should sell the car at this price, right? Well, most of the times this doesn't happen, because what the retailers do is that they negotiate with every customer for the price, right? They do some discounts. They can also negotiate for credit terms if that is applicable. So when we talk about the price includes the list price, the discounts, the allowances, payment period, and credit terms. Place, it's really straightforward. It basically represents the availability of your product. Where can the consumers go and get your products from? In this example of Ford's automobiles, remember that all the dealerships and all the retailers can be having separate owners. So there are independent dealerships that work with Ford and represent Ford, but they are not necessarily owned by the main company, although they represent it. So Ford is interested to have a good image and a good reputation, so they want to have a close relationship with that dealership and retailer, right? Because it's representing them. So when they negotiate with each customer, they need to have availability of the car, and that is in the main interest of the big company, that the dealership you go to has the model you want to buy, because it's in their reputation, right? So when we talk about the place, we look at channels, coverage, locations, inventory, transportation, and logistics. Finally, we talk about the promotions in the 4 Ps, and the promotions means advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, and public relations. Because it is such a big company, Ford, just Ford, the main company, spends over $2 billion every year for advertising only in the United States. And of course, as you can imagine, the retailers and the other dealerships also invest money in their promotion and advertising, right? So many marketeers think about the 4 Ps only from the perspective of the seller. Everybody talks about setting the price, about the place where the customers and where the consumers can get our products, but let's also see how the 4 Ps look from the customer's perspective. So when we talk about the customer perspective, you can see that the product is the customer solution. It's the solution to his need, to his want, to his problem. The price is the customer cost. Think about how much the customer will pay for the product. The place is the convenience. How easy can the customer buy your product? And the promotion is the communication. How do the customers hear about you? To sum up everything I discussed so far, a company, if it followed the video, they know what problem they solve. They also know which target audience, which customers they serve. And they also have a product or a service that fulfills that need or that want of the customer, and to do that they have all the 4 Ps in place to create a great marketing strategy. Well, there is one more step in creating the marketing mix, and that is the SWOT analysis. So a company looks at the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats they are facing, and they do that in order to better understand where they fit in the market. They want to know what dangers may be possible to face in the future, and they also want to know what opportunities they can take advantage of to make more profit. So companies need to pay attention to marketing and management, and that is important because it is the first point where we begin. When analyzing the marketing process, there are few processes that the company has to take into account, and those are analysis, planning, implementation, organization, and control. As discussed, a company must develop a wide strategic plan. A wide strategic plan is a plan where a company says, how will we survive in the future and how will we grow in the future? That is the strategic plan, and when a company does that, they need to translate that plan for every department, every division, and every product within the company. This is called planning. The first process. The second process is through implementation and organization. The company turns the plans into action. And finally, they control, so they measure and evaluate the results of marketing activities and take control when needed with corrective actions. In the end, through marketing analysis, a company obtains a lot of information that they analyze, and they can evaluate that information in order to know what to do for all the other marketing activities. Here, marketeers do a SWOT analysis. So what they do is to match the company's strengths to attractive opportunities in the environment while eliminating or overcoming the weaknesses and minimizing the threats. Basically, what the company does in the SWOT analysis is to look at the strengths they have, those are internal, and to look at the opportunities that exist in the market, those are external, and they want to match that. They want to match the strength they have with the opportunity that exists so they can create profitable situations for them. They also do that because they want to know what weaknesses a company has. For example, Apple has as a weakness an expensive product, and they want to know the threats that exist in the market. For example, counterfeit, in the example of Apple, right? You don't want that to match up a weakness with a threat. What you actually want to do is to understand the threats in the market, to understand the weaknesses your company has, and to create such a strategy that you transform that into an opportunity. The SWOT analysis is an overall evaluation of the company's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths include internal capabilities, resources, and positive situational factors that may help the company serve its customers and achieve its objectives. Weaknesses include internal limitations and negative situational factors that may interfere with the company's performance and ability to achieve its objectives. Opportunities are favorable external and favorable factors or trends in the environment that the company may be able to exploit to its advantage. And finally, threats are current unfavorable external factors or trends that may be present challenges to company's performance. The way you use the SWOT analysis is by filling in every aspect for your company. In order to determine the threats and also the opportunities within the market, you have to do what is called a market research. When you do an internal audit of the company, you can find the strengths and weaknesses of the company. So basically, in order to use the SWOT analysis, you need to fill in all that data for the company you have. In order to better understand how the SWOT analysis works, let's look at an example. Apple company, everybody knows Apple. And the fact that everybody knows Apple, it's actually one of their strengths. Looking at the SWOT analysis of Apple, we see at strengths that they have a strong brand and loyal customers, and that is 100% correct. Everybody knows about Apple, and that means having a strong brand. In the same time, they have loyal customers. So that means that in reality, most of the people, after they buy an iPhone or after they buy a Mac or a computer from Apple, whatever product they buy, they tend to continue buying from the same brand. That is loyalty of the customers towards the brand. When we look at weaknesses, we see that their products are expensive and that they have limited customization. So the company knows where they stand in the market. Looking at opportunities, we see increased focus on content streaming services and also leveraging its strong brand image to enter new market. So basically what they do is to look outside the real world, and they see an increase of using streaming services. Because that is an opportunity within the market, this is when their strength of financial capability goes in and they say we can develop a service or a product that will take advantage of this opportunity in the market and will return in profit for us. Let's think about another example. Everybody on the internet heard about the Apple car. It doesn't matter if it will ever exist or not, because they have the financial strength, they can actually invest the money into producing such a product, a car, in the car industry, and they can also have the loyal customers. So this means that no matter what product Apple would come out with, there will be a serious base of loyal customers that will buy everything comes out from the company. So it helps them to minimize the risk, it helps them to calculate better profitability for the company. Looking at threats, they battle against counterfeit. And because they have as a weakness that their product is expensive, their threats combined with the weaknesses are aspects a company wants to avoid, to diminish, and to eliminate. In the best case scenario, they can look at the weaknesses they have and at the threats that exist in the market, and they can come up with a plan that transforms that into an opportunity for them. How do they do that? Well, they have an entire marketing department that takes care of it. So one more time, in order to do the SWOT analysis for your company, you need to do market research and internal audit to determine all the threats and the opportunities in the market, all the strengths and weaknesses your company has, and you have to fill them in one by one. I hope this cleared you how to use the SWOT analysis, and this is actually everything about the marketing mix chapter in the marketing chapter of wise strategic planning. I hope this video helped you. If it did, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below in the comment section. Don't forget that there are many other videos in the description that you can check. You can check my channel for other marketing videos and for videos about corporate communication. And also in the links down below you will find a document. It's like a dictionary I created for you that is defining all the marketing terms. I talked about it in this video and many others. So feel free to download that. Also, if you want to support me, you can buy me a coffee. There is a link in the description for that. I run on a lot of coffee to create these videos for you. And if this was helpful, well, I will see you at the next video. Check the other ones on the channel.